back to My Dad Watches The Bachelor. I'm Meredith, and I'm here with my co-host, my dad.
Hey, Meredith, how's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. We're about to hop into one of the most interesting episodes each season. It's the one we have to do the most homework on. And, we are investing a lot of time into going through all 29, 30 bios of these ladies vying for Zach's heart, deciding who we think is worthy of our final four. We've got a lot to discuss here.
Well, when you say bios, it's somewhat of an exaggeration in that basically, I don't know what you're looking at, but basically I'm going to the Bachelor page on the ABC website and looking at these short paragraphs that don't give us that much information. They have some weird, interesting facts about the ladies. And from this small amount of information, you and I will try to decipher who we think will be the last people standing and who is a potential villain and who will get the first rose.
Yeah, we're really not going off of much here. So, don't judge us for judging these women.
Judging is a strong word, but I guess there could be a little bit of judging.
So if you're new here, how this works, we're going to go through every single woman, talk about her, and then we're going to pick our final four, our winner, our first impression rose recipient, and our villain pick of the season. We have no idea what each other has chosen, by the way.
And speaking for myself, I have not looked for any spoilers out there, so I'm just looking at the bios. I can't speak for you.
I don't know any spoilers either.
Okay, so we're trying to do this as fairly as we can. So anyway, let's. If you go to the Bachelor website, you'll see the pictures of these young ladies. They're all very, very pretty young ladies and short bios. So feel free to look at them. But let's hop into it because we got a long way to go.
All right. First, we have Allie. She's a 26-year-old healthcare strategist from Atlanta, Georgia. She's passionate. She's as passionate about her work in healthcare as she is about Disneyland, which is a red flag for me. I've spoken on this before. Disney adults, they're not for me. I did say in my last podcast that I did go to Disney World in the off season. I am not a Disney adult, though. Do not own any Mickey ears. Do not own any Disney merch. Strictly there for the rides.
Allie also has a golden doodle named Texas, which, Zach, our bachelor, spends time in Texas. Potential connection there.
But she's also a proud collector of porcelain dolls.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a turnoff. I don't know. That's a little bit strange.
Yeah.
So she seems very nice. I don't think she's a Final Four person, but she seemed very nice.
She had too many red flags coming from a very small bio.
All right.
Next, we have Anastasia, 30-year-old content marketing manager from San Diego, California. She comes from a big Greek family, enjoys watching Harry Potter, and loves animals, but is intimidated by monkeys.
Well, and one of the things in her bio says she enjoys vibing out to Rufus Du Sol music. Are you familiar with that?
No, I am not.
Me neither. And it also said that she's from Greece, or her family's from Greece, and she's always felt connections to Cleopatra, which for some reason gave me the idea of maybe she's a villain. Not that Cleopatra was a villain, but I don't know. She just seemed a little strange to me.
Cleopatra's not Greek, is she?
No, I think she's Egyptian. But
that's what I thought.
But the whole thing just seemed a little bit strange to me.
I thought she was a possible contender. She seemed sort of normal. Good sign when someone likes Harry Potter. Side note, did you think it was odd that in a lot of the bios this season, there were a lot of mentions of ethnicity and where the women were from? We have Greek, we have Ukrainian, I think there was some Mexican. If you weren't just plain old whitey, it seems like they wanted to say where people were from, which I don't think they've ever done before. I'm not sure if they're trying to be more inclusive or what it is, but it seems like a change in marketing and branding that they're going for this season.
I noticed that. I can't say that I noticed it that it was different from other seasons, but I don't really recall. So
This
anyway,
definitely hasn't happened before.
okay, so noted.
Next, Ariel, 28-year-old marketing executive from New York City, New York. She's adventurous, sophisticated, and unapologetically herself from a large Ukrainian family and loves to travel. Likes to read Architectural Digest. Dancing to ABBA makes her smile. Seems like a pretty cool girl.
It sort of made me wonder. I mean, ABBA is sort of more my generation than necessarily yours. Is that sort of a thing with the younger generation?
Yeah, of course. We love the Mamma Mia movie.
Oh, okay.
And anyone can get behind Dancing Queen.
Okay. All right. Well, the Architectural Digest thing gave me a pause, but she seems fine. I don't know if I don't see her making my Final Four, but she seemed fine.
I think she's definitely a contender, but she does seem to be out of Zach's league.
Okay.
Next, we have Bailey, 27-year-old executive recruiter from Nashville, Tennessee. She's ready to find the one and thinks The Bachelor is the perfect place to do that. So, that's an interesting statement.
I noticed that as well, and I said, and initially I said, oh, that's a red flag if she thinks this is the place to find the right person. But then I thought, well, maybe she's, if that's what she thinks, maybe this would be the right place for her too. Maybe she, so it made me rethink Bailey. So I actually ended up moving her higher on my list.
No, I don't, maybe she hasn't watched the show recently. Maybe she hasn't realized that both Gabby and Rachel left the show very sad.
I'm not sure that if you're a contestant on the show, you're supposed to say that, John, that I'm looking forward to having a disappointment and not having a relationship work out by being on your show. So
maybe she means she's looking forward to finding love on the beach in paradise.
I'm sure she'll find something. I hope it's not contagious.
She hopes to own her own business in the wellness world, wants to be a professional skydiver, named her dog Charlie after Charlie Brown. To me, she seems like the basic Instagram influencer type girl, so she could make it pretty far in the show.
I sort of liked her, but let's move on.
Next, we have Becca, 25-year-old nursing student from Burbank, California. Comes from a close-knit Mexican-American family, was raised by her mom. She's relaxed by being outdoors, sucker for forbidden romance novels, and wore a lot of beanies in high school and gave off a skater girl vibe.
She dedicates her life to helping people. Sounds very nice. I wrote that she'll probably get eaten alive by the monsters on this show.
I said that nothing stands out for me about Becca.
Okay.
Next, we have Brianna, 24-year-old entrepreneur from Jersey City, New Jersey. She lived in Paris for a few years growing up, hopes to go cage diving with sharks one day, created her own language as a child, which I believe everyone did. It's called gibberish. And she was also America's first Impression Rose recipient on the After the Final Rose. She's already met Zach.
So we can't choose her as the first rose recipient since she's already received a rose. She'll be there. She sort of gets a pass for the first round.
Yes, exactly. She's making it to episode 2.
So to me, it sort of seems she says she's an entrepreneur, owns a successful beauty company at the age of 24. I want, and I mean no disrespect. Does that mean she sells Mary Kay cosmetics? I don't know.
Is she part of a pyramid scheme?
Yes, I don't know. So anyway, I wish her well. I didn't see her as like someone that'll be there at the end.
Yeah, I'm not taking America's vote for the first impression rose that seriously because who knows how much alignment there is between America's interests and Zach's.
Yeah, Zach's probably smarter than America. So let's go ahead. Let's move on.
Next, we have Brooklyn, 25-year-old rodeo racer from Stillwater, Oklahoma. At 13 years old, she discovered her passion for horse barrel racing and went on to study animal science. But she currently works as a lab designer for an oral surgery practice where she custom designs teeth for life-changing dental procedures. But she dreams of being a professional rodeo cowgirl.
She on her bio says she's a rodeo racer. Not true. I'm not saying this is a George Santos type situation, but it appears that she's embellished her bio a bit. But I guess I was scratching my head trying to figure out what a lab designer for an oral surgery practice where she's custom designing teeth for life-changing dental procedures is. I mean, it makes you sound like they're designer teeth, or there are only so many places to put the teeth.
I'm
Generally,
thinking like dentures.
Generally they should be white. What? I'm not. I don't know.
I'm also not sure how you become qualified for that after studying animal science.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not very bullish on her. Did you see what I did there? Pretty funny.
I have no comment.
Okay. Let's move on then.
Yeah, so I'm not sure Zach is ending up with the cowgirl type.
I don't see it either.
Next, we have Kara, 27-year-old corporate recruiter from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nothing upsets her more than seeing garbage on the sidewalk. She loves Christmas music, and she's not a good cook, but she's great at assembling meals. I'm not really sure what that means.
She likes Bieber music, which I don't know if doesn't do much for me. I don't know how it translates to your generation at this point in time.
He's fine. I wouldn't openly say that I'm a Justin Bieber fan since I was in middle school, but teach their own.
It says she's got everything figured out from a career to a social life, but she's missing a husband, which to me she sounded like she was potentially conniving. So I in my notes I wrote down villain ? Or first rose ? I don't know.
She seemed pretty middle of the road to me.
Yeah.
Next, we have Kat, 26-year-old dancer from New York, New York. She loves hot dogs, doesn't do dinner dates, and was a sailing instructor in high school and dreams of sailing around the world.
Yeah, she seemed very nice. Didn't really have anything there that made me jump and say, "Oh, this is someone that I think should be there at the end." But who knows?
I agree. Next, we have Charity, 26-year-old child and family therapist from Columbus, Georgia. Her all-time favorite movie is The Notebook, which, doesn't get much more basic than that. Loving The Notebook and going on The Bachelor. She wants to move to Disney World one day. Again, red flag. And she throws a mean axe.
Well, I respect the axe throwing piece of it, but that was about the only piece that jumped out at me.
Yeah, it's cool that she's good at axe throwing, but I think it's like a net neutral with being a Disney adult. So in total, I land around indifference.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Next, we have Christina Mandrell, 26-year-old content creator from Nashville, Tennessee. She's a divorced mom to a 5-year-old daughter, Blakely, wants to learn how to hula dance, considers herself a grandma to her daughter's pet turtle, and her favorite sport is CrossFit.
So now, interestingly, this is the only bio that also provides her last name. And if you do a little Googling, which I did, she is the niece of country music icon Barbara Mandrell, who you're probably blissfully unaware of, but was around when I was growing up. So I just found it strange that they felt the need to put her last name on there. I guess they're saying, hey, this person is famous or related to someone who is famous. So
this person's a Nepo baby.
Take note here. And her bio talks about that she's got to find a man that's good for both her and her daughter. And I don't want to be mean, but I just wonder if coming on this show is what's in the daughter's best interest as well. To me, this feels like a play for publicity and fame, and I'm not particularly serious about doing what's best for my daughter by going on the show. I'm sure she's a fine mother. Anyway, I suspect she'll be around for a while, but I don't see her there at the end.
On top of that, Zach's 26 years old. He does not want to be a father right now. There's no shot.
An automatic father.
Yes, an automatic father.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Insta father.
Insta father, the new Instagram.
So
Next, we have, how would you pronounce her name?
Davia.
Davia? Okay, let's go with it. 25-year-old marketing manager from Charleston, South Carolina, loves dancing, listening to Lizzo, and reading romance novels like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Which, Dad, you're not on TikTok, but this is a big book recommendation from TikTok. So Davia is probably a big TikToker.
Well, the Chinese are taking your information. Now, you're really putting yourself out there if you're on TikTok. Everyone needs to get off of TikTok, okay?
Are you promoting Instagram Reels instead?
Sure. Get off of TikTok and stay off of my lawn.
You're going to have to pry TikTok from my cold, dead hands.
Yeah, that and the gas ovens. That's right. But anyway, in her bio, it says life hasn't always been easy, but she's persevered. It was like, oh, I'm getting ready for some sob stories here. I don't know what they're going to be, but I can see some crying going on when she shares how, her life story.
Maybe it's about her breakups, because she says no one's helped her through her breakups more than Taylor Swift, which, as a Swiftie myself, I do respect.
To me, it's a red flag in her bio where it says ready for marriage and wants it soon. That always makes me a little bit nervous. It's like, I don't know. Let's take our time. Let's not just say, let's not rush into these things. Of course, you're going on a show to get married, so what do I know?
I could see her making it pretty far. She's got she's got the book talk. She's got Taylor Swift. It's a thing that my generation can get behind.
Okay.
Next, we have Gabby, 25-year-old account executive from Pittsford, Vermont. She has her dream wedding venue picked out in Italy on Lake Como. It's beautiful. Good choice if you can get there. Her favorite Kardashian is Kris, and she loves to tailgate. Dad, question for you. Who is your favorite Kardashian?
I don't know the Kardashians. I don't have a favorite Kardashian. And if you're saying that you have a favorite Kardashian, that's a problem in my book.
All right, you heard it here first. Dad has no favorite Kardashian.
Correct. Yeah, so I'm not high on that one.
I think that she has potential, She also wants to own her own her own Pilates studio one day. I feel like that's something that's like pretty like basic influencer type girl could do and make it pretty far in the show.
Okay.
Next we have, I want to say Genevieve, but I don't know if that's what her name is. It looks more like Genevieve.
Yeah, it does. I noticed that as well. I would say it's Genevieve.
Genevieve, a 26-year-old neonatal nurse from Baltimore City, Maryland. She wants to be the CEO of a hospital one day, loves reading Colleen Hoover books, which is also from TikTok, so you know, playing sports and spending time with her family, fears animals that are larger than her, goes hard for the Baltimore Ravens, so she's probably pretty upset today, and can kind of drive stick shift.
And she fears animals that are bigger than her, which is probably pretty smart.
Yeah, that is probably smart. I like her. I think she seems normal, has some potential. I like that she reads books, like sports.
I like her too. She might be a nice person to hang out with. I didn't have her that high up on my list.
Okay, next we have Greer, 24-year-old medical sales rep. I didn't write down where she's from. Sorry, Greer.
She's from Houston.
From Houston. Loves to shop at flea markets. Says she's never embarrassed. And can tell a lot by their sushi order.
So I mean, I think on these bios sometimes they're trying to pull us in. The Greer's bio says that she is bold and hilarious, which I think they're trying to tell me that, oh, she could be fun at the first cocktail party. She's a potential first rose candidate. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't trust these people any further than I can throw them, but I have an interest in Greer.
Okay. I had no thoughts on Greer. Next, we have Holland, 24-year-old insurance marketer from Boca Raton, Florida. She loves yachting with her girls. Who doesn't? She doesn't function without air conditioning. Who does? And her favorite TV show is The Bachelor, which is very meta.
Very meta.
Yeah, it's like Inception, a show within a show.
All right. Um, again, I wonder if they're trying to send us messages or throw us fakes. I don't know. Spunky, confident, high energy, knows what she wants. Good luck to anyone who tries to stop her. And to me, she looks like she could be a little bit villainous. So she's on my potential villain list.
She's on my potential first impression rose list because since The Bachelor is her favorite show, I think she could know how to come off well the first night.
Well, I don't trust her. So anyway, she might get the first rose and be a villain. Who knows?
That is possible. Next, we have Jess, 23-year-old e-commerce coordinator from Winter Springs, Florida. Her favorite date activity is playing with puppies. I mean, who, of course. She doesn't leave the house without sunscreen, ever, and could play bananagrams all day and never get bored.
I think I got bananagrams at our family's Dirty Santa thing this year.
Have you played it yet?
I haven't even opened it, but I guess I should.
I hope whoever gave you that gift isn't listening.
Yeah, good point. Um, she's only 23, which to me
A little young.
a little bit young. Although I gave her some maturity points for always wearing sunscreen, so I respect that. And there was another Taylor Swift mentioned in her bio. Did that do anything for you?
Well, I love a Swiftie, but I didn't have any big thoughts here.
Okay.
I just don't think Zach's going for the 23-year-olds.
I think she's a little bit young, so that's sort of where I came down.
Next, we have Katie, 27-year-old ER nurse from Austin, Texas. She's Canadian, so she's not really from Austin, Texas. She grew up figure skating, isn't afraid of sliding into the DMs, loves roller coasters, enjoys swimming, but hates that sharks may be swimming underneath her. So I think she should probably just stick to the pool.
When someone says they're not afraid to slide into the DMs, does that mean she's willing to take the first move, or what does this mean?
I mean, DM stands for direct message, so it's
Well, I knew I was familiar with that part, but
yeah, she'll make the first move. She would message Zach on Instagram first. She's not going to wait for him to message her.
Okay, so she could be a little aggressive there or assertive.
My prediction here with Katie is that being an ER nurse, adrenaline junkie, seems like she would get bored of Zach. So I wouldn't be surprised if she self-eliminates.
Okay, interesting. That's a bold prediction, but okay. I mean, that's
It's a hot take.
a hot take. Okay.
Next, we have Catherine, 26-year-old registered nurse from Tampa, Florida. People tell her that she looks like Julia Roberts all the time. I didn't really see it in her picture, but okay. She doesn't camp, she only glamps, and she could live off breakfast pastries. She seems sort of high maintenance to me, so I was thinking possible villain choice.
Well, it also says that she has a witty sense of humor and a glass half full attitude, which I like. Wants a family, looking for a man who is loyal, trustworthy, most importantly, her best friend. Smart. Yeah, so I don't know. I sort of like Catherine.
Okay. Next, we have Kimberly, 30-year-old hospitality manager from Los Angeles, California. Loves to drink wine in her PJs. Can't wait to be a mom one day and her favorite music is old school hip hop.
Yeah, I feel old when I hear about old school hip hop. I mean, I've never really embraced the beginning of hip hop, and now we're talking about the old school hip hop. It also says she's 30 years old. She can't wait to be a mom, and I understand and can respect that. I'm just not sure that that is what is going to be the right formula for Zach.
I agree. Next, we have Kylie, 25-year-old postpartum nurse from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's an NBA dancer, which I'm assuming means for the Hornets. You'll never see her with frizzy hair. She likes her popcorn smothered in butter and mixed with M&Ms. And her celebrity crush is Jimmy Garoppolo,
A handsome fellow,
a
Jimmy
very,
Garoppolo.
very handsome fellow who studied under another handsome fellow, Tom Brady.
Kylie, to me, again, it's can't wait to have a baby of her own ASAP, ready for soccer mom life. Which at some point in life, I think that's great. But when you're on The Bachelor, trying to connect with a 26-year-old guy, I'm not sure that's again gonna be a good fit there.
Yeah, but I could see Zach liking an NBA dancer.
I'm sure. All these girls are very pretty. I'm sure she is too.
Next, we have Lekka, 29-year-old financial advisor from Miami, Florida. She was born in India and moved to the U.S. at 7 years old. Her love language is a massage. Going to Stagecoach is on her bucket list. You probably don't see the irony in that statement, but there's a lot of Stagecoach drama that goes on within this Bachelor Nation franchise. Stagecoach is a music festival.
I was not familiar with Stagecoach, so good to know. I guess I wrote down, what if your financial advisor said she was taking time off to go be on the show The Bachelor? To me that would be a serious financial advisor red flag of you're not going to be my financial advisor if that's how you're going to be spending your time.
I feel like a lot of these people that have a job title of financial advisor in their 20s is like, it's a bit of an over exaggeration. I don't think that she's probably advising many people financially. She probably has a lot of bosses that do, and she's just kind of doing grunt work.
Okay, well, I don't know, just a few red flags here for me.
If she goes far, I don't think she'll be a financial advisor much longer. Next, we have Madison, 26-year-old business owner from Fargo, North Dakota. While growing up, she took on the role of caretaker for her two younger sisters. She was a presidential scholar in college and dislikes all sauces, which I can't get past. It's a major red flag for me. All sauces? Like, what are we considering a sauce here? Like, marinara sauce? What are you putting on your pasta?
Barbecue sauce?
Ketchup?
Preposterous. Yeah, come on. When I read that, I wrote high maintenance. So, if you're going to be complaining about sauces, I'm not sure it's going to work out. So,
Yeah, the sauce reason, for that reason alone, potential villain.
yeah, that's going further than but okay.
Next, we have Mercedes, 24-year-old nonprofit case manager from Bloomfield, Iowa. Her hobby is showing pigs at the Iowa State Fair, loves to drive around with the windows down, blasting country music, and would rather order in than cook. And there's simply no way Zach is going to be into the girl showing pigs at the state fair.
But can't you see a pig showing up when they make the introductions? Isn't it likely that she's going to be taking a pig with her?
I could see that.
Yeah. Which doesn't make me think that she's going to be getting the first rose, but it would at least be somewhat memorable. Her bio also says that she's got 4 jobs and works hard to support herself. And I wrote, why is she here? If she's got 4 jobs and working hard to support herself.
Because influencer as one job probably makes more money than all 4 of her jobs combined. I mean, how much money do you think you make showing pigs at the state fair?
I don't know, but it makes me think that she might not be here for the right reason.
What? They're all here for the right reasons.
Love, baby.
Next, we have Olivia L., 24-year-old patient care technician from Rochester, New York. She plays basketball. Watching Grey's Anatomy inspired her to work in the medical field. She yells at people who litter and comes from a family of jet skiing enthusiasts.
Well, I'm a big basketball fan, so that I found that to be a little bit intriguing. And who we had a Bachelorette on not that long ago that was a basketball player.
Michelle.
Yeah. So, but again, nothing there to make me really. I was intrigued by her, but probably not intrigued enough.
I was intrigued in the wrong ways. I thought that since she's like plays basketball and yells at people who litter, she could be kind of aggressive possibly and maybe rub people the wrong way. Potential villain pick for me.
Okay. Okay.
Next, we have Olivia M., 25-year-old stylist from Cincinnati, Ohio. Her special talent is sounding like a dolphin. She loves to read and has color coded her bookshelf. We have a lot of readers this season. And she loves carbs.
Yeah, if your special talent is sounding like a dolphin, at some point, I guess we're going to get to hear that special talent, and I think that will be the deal breaker of you're weird, you need to go home. So I don't see her going far.
Yeah, I think that a color coded bookshelf sounds pretty sick, but I don't think it's going to help her win over Zach's heart.
No.
Next, we have Sonia, 29-year-old project manager from Long Island, New York. She's been bungee jumping twice. She never says no to a game of truth or dare, and she's obsessed with Elvis.
I wasn't sure what to make of Sonya, and again I put first rose or potential villain, and I'm going to do some stereotyping of people from Long Island might be a little bit more abrasive on the show than some of the other people. So that's was my thought process there.
Okay,
Tell me
interesting.
I'm awful.
I do enjoy a Long Island accent. By enjoy, I mean find entertaining.
Well, and she might stand out because of her accent, and of course there are a few other people there from New York, but we'll see.
Next, we have Vanessa, 23-year-old restaurant marketer from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She works in marketing and strives to be as successful as marketing genius Kris Jenner. Our second Kris Jenner reference of the night.
And I'm slow on this stuff and don't keep up with all this stuff. Is Kris Jenner the one that used to be Bruce Jenner?
No, that's Caitlyn Jenner. Kris
Oh,
Jenner is the mom.
okay.
She's
Well,
the matriarch.
okay. Well,
She's also a Kardashian.
okay. Well, I put red flag of trying to be as successful as marketing genius Kris Jenner.
To be fair, she's built quite the empire.
Okay. Well, good. I appreciated the fact that her dream duet partner is Barry Gibbs of the Bee Gees. Um, and again, I don't mean to be rude. I guess when I see someone who is 23 years old saying they're a restaurant marketeer in Baton Rouge, she's the greeter, right? She's the person that's greeting people when they come into the restaurant.
You mean a host?
A hostess, yeah, something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
Uh,
It depends on what type. Maybe it's like a high-end restaurant and she does marketing for them. Or maybe she works at the Olive Garden.
and she welcomes people and says, "You'll be seated in 45 minutes." Yes, that's the person I'm thinking of.
But she could hand out, she has unlimited access to breadsticks. So doesn't seem like that bad of a job to me.
Okay. She's also 23, which might be a little bit young for
Yeah,
me.
it's a no for me. Next, we have Victoria J., 30-year-old makeup artist from Fort Worth, Texas, has a degree in dance performance, doesn't understand the hype around Pete Davidson. Her music taste is stuck in 2007, and she isn't made for the cold, but says she looks super cute in a ski suit.
Okay, she seemed fine. She's 30, which is a few years older than Zach, which at my age isn't a big deal, but at his age might be. Um, yeah, I enjoy Pete Davidson. I'm not sure why so many beautiful women find him attractive, so I can understand her saying that.
I've heard good things about his package size.
Okay, well that's good. I don't run in your circles, so I've not heard anything about that.
I think that Victoria J seems like a pick me girl. Like she's just trying to say the right things to like get the attention from the boys. Like, oh, I don't get like I'm not into Pete Davidson. I'm not like other girls. Like my music taste is so 2007. I don't like the music now. So I think she's going to be annoying.
So she's going to be one of those women when they're doing the rose ceremony who's like still up there at the very end looking at her with these eyes of, oh, you must pick me or my world's going to end and it's going to be very sad.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
All right, our last woman of the season, Victoria E, is a 29-year-old nanny from Vienna, Austria. She was born and raised in Austria and moved to the US by herself in 2013, which is quite impressive. She doesn't eat blue tortilla chips, she lives for cheesy Christmas movies, and she loves to listen to Nora Jones and paint. Sounds very relaxing.
Yeah, she seemed interesting. Has some worldwide travel experience and exposure. It also says she loves being the life of the party, which could cut in different ways. Of could she get the first rose, or can she be very annoying to lots of other people and turn villainous?
Interesting. All right, I didn't have a lot of feelings towards Victoria E, but I feel like Zach's gonna want like a homegrown American small town girly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all of them. That was 30.
There we go. Okay, we got to make some picks now. I need you to commit to some women here.
So which category are we doing first?
Let's do the villain.
All right. So for the villain, there were two that struck me more than others as potential villains. Holland, the spunky, confident, high energy, good luck to anyone that wants to stop me, looks villainous to me, and Sonia from Long Island, who I don't know, but I'm going to go as villain with Holland.
Okay. I'm choosing Olivia L as my villain. She's the basketball player who yells at people who litter. Because I think she could be competitive and aggressive and just like come off, like rub people the wrong way.
All right. I'm writing this down.
As am I. Let me just hop into my first impression, Rose, since
Okay.
you've already discussed her. Picked Holland as my first impression, Rose, because The Bachelor is her favorite show. I think that she's going to have some strategy behind what she's doing, which I do also think could make her a good villain choice. But I think that first night, you're not going to be able to tell that it's strategic.
I think that's logical and very possible. I'm not sure who I'm giving my first rose to yet, so I want to go ahead and do our four finalists, and I'm going to pick one of my four finalists for the rose, and I'll probably try to talk myself into it while I do it.
Okay. Who is your first top four?
So for my first top four, I'm going I'm going with Bailey, the Nashville executive recruiter who isn't on dating apps and is coming on Bachelor because she thinks it's the perfect place to find her mate. So, I don't know why. I'm going with Bailey.
I did say that she seemed like the basic Instagram influencer that could make it pretty far in the show. So,
All right, give me one of
not
yours.
your worst pick ever.
Okay, give me one of yours.
My first pick is Ariel, the 28-year-old marketing exec from New York, New York. Likes to travel, comes from a big family, reads Architectural Digest, likes ABBA. I do still think she's out of Zach's league, but I think that like she seems really cool and I'd like to be friends with her, and she's very pretty. So picking Ariel.
Okay. My next pick is Greer, the bold and hilarious sales rep from Houston, hopeless romantic, never embarrassed. So I'm going with Greer.
Interesting. Okay. My next pick is Gabby, 25-year-old account exec from Pittsford, Vermont. Um, Favorite Kardashian is Kris. Her dream wedding venue is Lake Como. Likes to tailgate, own her own Pilates studio one day. I think she seems normal and cute, fits the bill of someone that goes far on this show.
Okay. Um, Sounds fine. My next one is Catherine, the registered nurse from Tampa, who might look like Julia Roberts, might not. We'll see. Um, Looking for her best friend. That got me. So anyway, I'm going with Catherine.
All right. My third pick is Genevieve, the 26-year-old neonatal nurse from Baltimore. She wants to be CEO of a hospital one day, likes to read, play sports, can kind of drive stick. She seems like a cool girl, and cool girls go far.
All right. The first three I sort of already had down, so now I wasn't totally sure who I was going to pick as my fourth finalist. So I'm looking at my notes, and I guess the one that I'm going to go with is Katie, the 27-year-old ER nurse from Austin, who isn't afraid to slide into your DMs. Um, Sense of humor. I don't know. She's also from Austin. Could be some Austin connection there. So we've got something to talk about. I'm going with Katie.
And she's the one I think will self-eliminate.
Well, she might do it once she's in the final four.
My last pick is Kylie, 25-year-old postpartum nurse from Charlotte, who's an NBA dancer, and her celebrity crush is Jimmy Garoppolo. I just get good vibes from her.
Yeah, if your favorite crush is Jimmy Garofalo, isn't it sort of a step down to be hanging with Zach?
Well, you know, if your celebrity crush is Jimmy Garoppolo, I think everyone is going to be a step down.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, who is your winner?
This is so hard. Well, you're going to hate this because the two that I thought the most of were Bailey and Greer.
Okay.
So I'm going with Bailey.
I think that's the better choice out of the two.
So I'm going to go with Bailey, and hope that she just buys into the Bachelor process and is gullible enough to say I do. I think she might be.
I picked Genevieve as my winner. There's something about her look, her personality. I'm here for it. Genevieve all the way, baby.
All right, I've got to give you a first impression rose as well.
And it doesn't have to be from your top four.
Well, you remind me now. You told me that
The women are usually good at picking their first impression, not the men.
So the men are happy to discard the first impression rose person.
Remember who got the first impression rose last year with Clayton? Teddy. She didn't even get a one-on-one date.
I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, so I don't really remember that. So, I'm looking at my list to see what really stands out to me. You know who I'm going to go for first impression, Rose? I'm going to go with Victoria E, the Austrian nanny. Just because I think she might stand out in the first night and make a big impression. I don't think I don't like you. I don't think that that's going to be his end choice, but I'm going to go with Victoria E.
Okay. I think this might be one of the first times we have zero overlap with any of our choices.
I know we had a lot of overlap last season. And a lot of our picks are pretty on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see who does better this time.
I think we'll definitely have a winner this time between the two of us, based on our picks.
We've got 8 choices for our top 4, so
Yeah.
one of us has got to pick a few that are right. Well,
all right. So this show starts next week.
Yeah. First episode airs January 23rd, I believe. So come back here every Tuesday to hear all of our hot takes on Zach's season from the right perspective and my dad's.